Hello everybody, it's Janene here at my studio space with my assistant's dog Pugsley laying next to me. I'll just try and move the camera around and so you can say hello to him, see him. Pugsley! There, I'm going to say hello to everybody. Pugsley, come here. Come here. Come on. Come on, Pugsley. Up. Stand. Good boy, and sit. Good boy, and say hello. Yeah, good boy. I think Pugsley knows this routine now because we've done it a few times on the camera. Good boy, Pugs. So there's Pugsley saying hello to everybody. So this here is a piece I did a while back. I've divided up the page into different rectangle, squares and triangular shapes and a few circular shapes as well. Like when I did this, when I started doing it, the idea was just drawing out some different simple shapes and then to colour them in. But as I started colouring them in, I thought it looked quite like a landscape. So you've kind of got your grass area down here, like maybe some cornfields and some fields of flowers, maybe like a river here with the blue, and then the sun set here and the sky up here. And I just quite like that. It's kind of like an abstract sort of looking landscape and a slightly different way of doing things. So I thought today we could have a go at doing something similar. So this is like a way of creating your own colouring picture, and it's very popular at the moment with the adult colouring craze. So I'm going to be using a Posca paint pen to create the outlines of my colouring picture. So I'm dividing my page into different shapes using a ruler and some circular shaped objects to create the curved lines. As you can see, unfortunately the Posca paint pen is smudging a bit, but I'll show you a way of fixing some of this later on. Feel free to use whatever supplies you have. Don't feel like you have to be using exactly what I have. So here I'm going to show you different colouring pens I'm going to be using. So I'll have a Sharpie here. Maybe some of you will already have Sharpies in your stationery stash or art stash if you already have an art stash. And this is a Pro marker with a nice thick tip on one end and a bullet tip on the other end. So most of these markers that I'm showing you are alcohol based markers. This next one is a Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend marker. So the idea of this is you have three different shades of the same colour within one marker. So you have your dark, medium and light tone. So the idea is you can create shading within your work. I'm not doing that within this project, but I just wanted more selection of colours. So that's why I've got those out. And this is the only pen that isn't alcohol based. It's a metallic pen, and I'll be using that to cover up some of the smudges in my black lines, as they're opaque pens, so we'll cover it up. And this one is a fine Sharpie pen that I'll use in some of the smaller areas. And so now I'm starting to colour it in, and I tend to hop around the page and colouring in different places wherever I feel inspired at the time. So as I'm colouring in, I'm thinking about trying to balance out my colours across the page. And so I'm doing some greens down the bottom, I guess to represent like fields and grasses, and also you can see there I've put in like lilac-y colour. To me that represents like a field of flowers or something like that. And here I've got a longer strip of blue. Maybe it represents a river, but let your imagination run wild. And yours doesn't need to look like mine. Mine is just an inspiration for you to create whatever you like. Yours doesn't even need to be a landscape. You could divide your page up in a completely different way to become something completely different. and as I mentioned earlier, I'm using mainly alcohol based markers. I like this because most of them produce a nice flat block of colour, but feel free to use whatever you have. You know, you can use pencils, children's felt tips like we were using in the video last week. You know, you can even, you know, use a biro or a pencil to do the outlines. You know, feel free to just use whatever you have. I hope you're all doing well at home in this time of lockdown, and I hope that this gives you a nice change from what you'd normally be doing and a nice project to inspire you. And also feel free to go back in with whatever you use to do your outlines. I felt here that that dark blue was just going to be too much in the middle there, so I divided it up so I could put some different shades of blue in the sky. So here is the final piece, finished piece. I've gone back in and gone over some of my black lines where I was trying to correct the smudges with the opaque pen. In some places it went over the black lines, so I've just neatened them up and just neatened it up in general. There's just a couple of other things I wanted to mention. One, that unfortunately you might be able to see the Posca paint pen has reacted and with the alcohol and bled into the colour a little bit. I wouldn't worry about this overly. You know, I think the piece has still turned out okay. It was just something I wanted to make you aware of, as you might want to check your pens beforehand. As far as I was aware, Posca pens are water-based, so in theory a water-based pen shouldn't, you know, the alcohol shouldn't react with a water-based pen, but unfortunately for some reason it has reacted slightly. If anybody knows why this is, then if you're watching through my YouTube channel, then please let me know in the comments below. If you're watching through other means, then please just let me know. But yeah, as I say, you know, don't let this hinder your creativity. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I just wanted to let you know that this unfortunately has happened. And the other thing I wanted to mention was, as you might have noticed, I put a piece of scrap, like copy paper, underneath my work. This is because alcohol-based markers will bleed through the paper. This is normal for them to bleed through. Don't worry about it. It's part of how they have an even coverage across the paper. And also I use the scrap paper just to scribble off my pens at the side. You know, when I realised that some of the Posca pen had bled into the nib, I just scribbled it off to clean my nib. And also I also use it to just check my colours to make sure that I've got the right colours that I want to be using. So I hope you enjoy doing some artwork inspired by this video, and you know, it's a really nice relaxing project and mindful project as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and I'd love to see whatever you create inspired from my video. I hope you're all staying well and safe at home, and hope you join me in my next video. Okay, bye for now.